That'll let me sync the audio. Now let's try that again. Hello and welcome into the Section 109 podcast, here from Studio Breezy. I am not joined by Matthew, which is kind of a refreshing thing. I'm here with, as always, Bobble Juan. Mix and Toby are not here. Jim is joined. And then we have two special guests, Adam Reekie and Liam Davies.
Hello.
Welcome, gentlemen. We should probably talk about who's who in case somebody hasn't been paying attention. So give us your names and your titles at CFC.
My name's Adam Reekie. I'm the shorter, balder one of the two assistants. First team assistant.
Yeah, I'm Liam Davies, and I'm also first team assistant.
Now, I see the titles. Jim and I were actually talking about this on Saturday. We saw the titles on the CFC website, which we all know if it's on the internet, it's true, right? It says first assistant and second assistant. What's the difference?
The first one makes the tea first. The second one makes the tea second.
Okay.
Nothing in my mind, nothing really.
What kind of, what kind of roles, and then we'll go back into your soccer journeys and talk through some stuff, but what kind of roles when you're splitting up assistant coaching roles? I think most of the time in the past at CFC, there's always just been one assistant and one head coach. So, do your roles end up being very similar? Do they end up being very different and segmented because you're tackling different things? How does that work?
I mean, for me, I do more like video stuff. So I'll get some clips and do scout reports, for example. But also Chris and Adam also do their bit with that as well. So it's kind of a team effort, if you like. I would say we all kind of jump in and do little bits and help each other. It's a collaborative effort, really.
Yeah, I think it's good to sort of work in certain areas that you feel comfortable in. But we've got quite a good, I suppose, relationship where we can all sort of touch in a little different areas. I'd probably be more down the cultural side in terms of what we want to do as a collective. There's crossover, but there is certain sections that we sort of specialise in, I suppose.
So no splitting somebody's doing a defensive game plan, somebody's doing going forward, somebody's doing set pieces.
It's a bit collaborative in that sense, isn't it?
I mean, we all, obviously Chris leads it and we assist Chris and help him, but we all kind of jump in with little ideas and what we think, and then we form a collective plan, if you like.
Lots of collaboration.
Okay.
What Jim really wants to know is why the short corners.
No, that's not what I was going to say. The question was, which one is a bigger affront to the American way of life? The short corner or zonal marking?
Good question.
Starting out heavy here.
I mean,
which actually I don't have really a problem with either one, but I like to claim I have a problem online with them because it makes for good content.
I think a bad short corner is worse than a bad long corner.
Amen. Yes.
And that doesn't matter whether it's youth soccer or professional soccer. So that always aggravates everybody if a short corner is executed poorly. I think there's pros and cons for both. Same with your zonal marking versus man-to-man. I think there's more accountability with man-to-man because it's easier to see.
Yeah.
But I do feel there's room for both in both the short corners and the long corners and the zonal marking and the man-for-man.
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring this up until we got into it a little bit.
It's out there.
I couldn't help it. I could see you wanted to. No, let's rewind. Adam, if you want to go first, if you're good with this, or I guess you can tell Liam you want him to go first. But I'd love to know kind of where you're from. When did soccer enter your life? And kind of give us your soccer journey from growing up. I mean, were you playing? Just kind of take us through however it went. It gets you to now.
I'll go. I'm trying to. I was thinking about this coincidentally a couple of days ago. What is the first football or soccer memory?
And you're welcome to call it football. You won't offend me. I just very American on my end.
I might flip between, but we'll go soccer. So I think a primary influence was my granddad, and I can remember playing in his hallway with a ball, and I can't remember, maybe 3-4 years old. So I do remember that, I think.
Which is just a little bit more narrow than the Finley pitch.
Yeah, I still managed to score a few past him. But
there we go.
So I think that was a primary influencer. My mum's very into sport, but only because I was. And my dad wasn't very sporty or into sort of football. So I think that was the primary influence. Then it just went from there. And then I think like a lot of, I suppose, expats came to America based on the fact that probably wasn't good enough to make it in the UK. And so it was time to look at universities. So that's how I came out. Well, actually, no, originally I came out through like a Camp America thing, like this summer camp. And it was through through one of those MLS soccer camps. And then from there, sort of worked out about playing in college and then the opportunities to study and to play football.
What kind of player were you?
Very bad one.
I don't quite believe that.
Yeah, I don't believe it either.
You've never I wouldn't say bad. I'd say average. I was a very good Sunday league or pub player, but an average footballer if you're looking in the grand scheme of things.
Sure.
So like a squad MLS player here. I mean,
what position were you?
Central midfield.
Okay.
So if I'm sort of thinking about my game now, I was probably my biggest asset was the ability to cover ground and to sort of do the basic sort of dirty work, and I had quite a good understanding of the game. So that would have been my strength and ability. Like I had good stamina. So, but in terms of technique and when you look at the game now, probably it was right that I didn't stay in the UK and play. But
Right-footed or left-footed?
Allegedly, I was right-footed, but I don't know. It was as bad as my left foot, so bad. But no, right-footed.
What number did you wear? If you were allowed to choose, and I know sometimes you get to a team and you're not allowed to choose, but
yeah, if I was allowed to choose, I would have liked to play as a number 8 on my back, I think. But it didn't. Once I got past that, it didn't really matter. So I was just happy to be playing.
yeah, beautiful. And who was your favorite team growing up? Did you have a team you supported?
Yeah, so I live on the coast of southeast coast. So the nearest professional team to me is Gillingham, and I was probably about an hour and a bit from them. So my local team that I played for was Dover, which is a semi-professional. So it wasn't very trendy to support them.
Sure.
So when obviously in your playground and who do you support. So at that time when I was growing up, Liverpool were quite big, Everton were quite big, Man United. But my first game was to a Spurs game because it's in London. So 14, I sort of picked Spurs. Maybe it was a bit before that. My favourite player was Paul Gascoigne. So he played for Tottenham at the time. So that's where that sort of went. So yeah, Spurs my team.
Perfect.
Right. Well, the interview is now over.
He's an Arsenal fan. No one's perfect.
Well, I suppose we've got a bit of distance there. So we'll be all right.
And then you said you came to the US, you played. When did you realize that coaching was the next step? Or was that the next step? Was an intermediary step between?
I don't know about you, Liam, but I sort of peaked, I think. I knew I peaked as a player when I was maybe 15 or 16. So it took me probably 2 years to to realise that dream had died. And between 16 and 18, I was doing little coaching courses. And I look back now and I had some good mentors who were coaches. So I think that inadvertently put me towards coaching. So yeah, probably 18, I felt I can earn more money at coaching, which is not saying a lot, than I could playing. And I was probably a better coach than a player, which again is not saying a lot. But I think, yeah, around 18.
And then what did you end up, what was your first coaching job?
I did a lot of unpaid coaching, which I think if you ask a lot of coaches, it's like you have to go and volunteer in that. So when I was 18, I was coaching our Dover's under 14s, but that was just voluntary. So my first coaching job was with the MLS soccer camps as a camp counsellor, but I would say my first proper job was probably I coached a women's team here in the US, junior college team as the head coach. So when I was 27, but in between then it was a lot of, part-time stuff.
Graduate assistant, whatever.
Yeah, graduate assistant, camp counselling, those types of things. In terms of, but my first proper full-time job was the Lewisburg head coach.
Got any nicknames?
Yeah, probably, but not that I use. Big nose, baldy, quite a few of them.
Depends who's using them.
Yeah. No, I would say Reekie, Reeks, Ads. My sister, my mum and my dad call me Ads. To my face anyway. So what they say behind my back, I don't know.
Siblings?
Yeah, one sister. Yeah, Lucinda, but she goes by Lucy.
And she's back in the UK?
Yeah, back in the UK. Yeah, my mum, my dad, all my family are back in the UK. A few distant cousins somewhere in America. We're not sure where. And I have a cousin and an auntie and uncle in Australia.
I guess the last question from your kind of soccer journey is, how did you end up then at CFC? How does CFC then come into the picture? Obviously, this is your first year here, but how did that connection and that process happen?
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, I have a former or prior relationship with the head coach, Chris Nugent, and we worked together probably about 6 years ago. I came from the UK back to the US again after a period away, and came to a club in North Carolina where Chris was working. And so we developed a friendship and a relationship there. And then he worked for me in the academy there when I was working in it was the development academy at the time for the club. And then so that's where we sort of made a friendship. So the reason is Chris had an opportunity, and it was appealing once I found out a little bit more about Chattanooga as a club, and then also as a place. So I haven't been here. I like to travel and I like to go to new places, and that was another thing. This was a place I'd never been to. So, but short answer, Chris Nugent is the reason.
Now, I didn't text him, or I don't have. I Instagram DM'd him, and I'm going to see if he sent me something back. But
yeah, let's see what he's probably sent you a few things, so I'm ready for him. So
my understanding is you may have some particularly strong takes on tea, but we'll come back to that in the food section.
Okay, all right.
I've been told to at least prep for that part. Liam, take us through your soccer journey. You're playing, and then to coaching, kind of.
Yeah, similar to Adam, obviously. From a younger age, just being brought up in a real big football family, if you like. All my family and myself are big Liverpool fans, and
you can hear it in the voice.
Yeah, I would say you can't tell.
But when I go home, people say I've lost my accent. I'm American, so it's funny.
I feel like you'd be stuck with that forever, right?
Yeah. So I've got an older brother who's 4 years older. So obviously, when I was young, he was really big into football, and he kind of helped me get into it, or smash balls at each other and what have you in the garden and stuff, and so he had a big influence on my footballing career, as did my dad and my uncles. Everybody played football, whether that was at a Sunday league level or semi-professional level, and then so played from an early age. Was in Wigan Athletics Academy as a youngster, and then Blackburn. I went on trial at Blackburn Rovers. At the time I was playing as a full back and a central midfield player. Didn't quite make it. Got let go, and then I went on to Macclesfield Town, which were in the 4th division at the time, League 2. Not long went out of business after I'd left. Now they're back up and running with I think Robbie Savage is the owner, so they started right back at the bottom, and they're building back up. I was there, didn't quite make it there. Played non-league for a year or so, and then I got an opportunity to come over and play in the Dallas Cup in 2012 with like a representative, like an all-star team, if you like, for Knowsley, which is the borough that I live in, or did live in. So came over, had an amazing experience. That was my first time in America, and I was like, wow, this is a place I want to live. Got a few scholarship offers, took one, obviously, came over, played a few years, and then got straight into coaching. I was similar to Adam. I felt I wasn't going to quite make a career out of it. Got into coaching, started getting some of my education. Got lucky with an opportunity became a grad assistant at Koch University in South Carolina. I was there for 2.5 years. Then I went up to Tiffin University, another Division 2 school. That was my first full-time job as a coach, as an assistant and a recruiting coordinator, if you like, which I really enjoyed. Learned a lot. And then after that, I got an opportunity to work for Adam at NT Fusion in the academy. Again, worked with some amazing coaches, great mentors. And then, here I am now at Chattanooga. So it's gone. When I look back now, it's gone really fast. Like, I've been in America for 12 years now. I felt like I was at Tiffin a year ago. Now that was 6-7 years ago. It just flies. And I think at times in football and stuff, you don't really get to sit down and enjoy it or really, reflect or whatever. It's just like it's 100 miles an hour. So now I'm here. Really excited to be here.
So when Chris talked to you guys about Chattanooga, what he said you learned about the club, learned about a little bit. What I'm always interested in what outsiders who looking at the club or looking at our club think, or kind of what,
especially first impressions.
Yeah, the impression of the club.
Yeah, I think obviously Chris is very complimentary about sort of the city and the people first, because when someone's saying, would you be interested in come do this job, and then explaining where you've got to move to, and move yourself and maybe other people with you, there's always that fear of so I think the thing that sort of impressed me was the way that he spoke about, or firstly, like the ownership and the club itself, and the type of people that were there, and that for me that aligned with what I wanted to be part of. Same value system in terms of what they were hoping to achieve, bigger picture, obviously winning football matches and having a nice brand of football, but the bigger impact on other things and other people. So that was a big sort of part of it. And then just what a nice place Chattanooga is, and again, like every place, I'm sure it has bad areas and that, but generally
East Ridge,
nice
you don't want to go there.
Who plays there? Is there a team there out there?
Well, there's a high school there.
There's a high school, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe out in that area, but no, very complimentary of what the club had done, but also there was an exciting part about where it wants to go and how they want to get there. It was the excitement of that sort of, I thought, it's a cool place. And like I said, I'd never been here before, so always like to try something new.
Was your first time here when you interviewed?
Yes. Yeah, it was.
Where'd they take you? Do you remember? Did they take you anywhere, like, to see anything, like to try to show you the town?
Jordan Matthias took me around in his car and showed me certain places. Very good tour guide. People don't give him enough credit for that, but he did. So I saw everything. I saw the river, and we went to eat in a couple of different places, I think, and I saw the airport as well.
We're very proud of our new airport.
I like it. It's got everything you need. Planes to fly away and into, and that was good.
And the lines are short usually.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with smaller airports. I don't have a problem with. I worked at Syracuse University, so they have a small airport.
Yeah.
And I worked at a school in Buffalo and went to school in Buffalo, and that's a small airport. And Greensboro again, small airport.
I've flown into that Syracuse airport. It's small.
It's tiny. But I never had, apart from when it snowed once, I never had an issue getting in or out of any of those airports. So Chattanooga the same. I didn't come for the small airport though. Just to clarify that.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about the Visitors Bureau, bringing that up on the list of things
people to go see.
Yeah, go see.
Jordan didn't take me. That wasn't a part of his official tour.
You didn't go watch the planes.
You go up to the top floor of the new parking deck and this is the airport.
The cell phone lot where you can see the planes come in and out. I mean, some people watch that. I don't know.
I have a bit of a, I guess, controversial question, and what percentage of the game, and I think everybody thinks of this differently, so that's why I think it's a little controversial. What percentage of the game is mental and what percentage is physical for players?
Well, I have a very good friend who is a performance coach. So he reckons football is a mental game executed physically. So that got me thinking. And so, I mean, I would say it's more mental than it is physical, in terms of the more you start to learn about coaching and sport and performance and human beings. So I think Michael Jordan said it was 80% mental. So I'm not sure. I think that's the stat that he used. So I would lean more towards the mental side over physical, based on what I've.
If you had to put a number on it, you can't hide. Chris hid from this one. Chris decided to tell us that he didn't have enough data. But I think what makes this question fun and why I push on it, I think it's fun because someone will be like, I think it's more, and then they'll be like 80-20. And then some people are like, I think it's more, it's 55-45. Like,
I think it's more than 50-50. But I mean, if Jordan's saying it's 80% and he's played probably one of the best athletes that America's produced, but probably the world's seen, he's got to know something. Whether it's 79% or 64%, I don't know, but I would lean more towards the 80-20. Based on what I've experienced so far in all different areas, speaking to different experts and just life lessons, I would say it is. Now, if you speak to Rich, who's a performance, he might say it's more physical. But I would definitely lean towards that.
Yeah, I mean, the way I think of it is it's really, really basic. But if somebody's not mentally focused already or confident, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter what ability they have, because they're not going to be able to perform to the max or as good as they can. So yeah, I mean, similar to Adam, I've learned a lot from performance coaches and mental coaches the last few years, and some of the stuff I've learned is like, wow, like, yeah, it makes sense if people aren't in the right frame of mind or whatever. Like I said, then they're not going to be able to perform. So yeah, I mean, you see it now with coaching, right? And I think a lot of people think, oh, tactically and technically, but I mean, I think that's a small percentage.
I think it's one problem with the American game is I don't know that a lot, at least early on, I don't know that a lot of people believe that. I think they thought it was way more physical. I mean, you can see it in the way teams play. Both my boys played either center halves or kind of outside backs, and I mean, I remember a kid who is a D1 football player. I mean, he played soccer. He was a winger. He had the physical attributes in spades, but I mean, didn't know the game from Adam, and it's and I wonder if it's also developmental. Like early on, is it teaching physical first, and then once the physical basis gets in, you start to work on scanning the field, or is it kind of in tandem?
I think as coaches we have an unconscious bias to coach the physical, the technical, and the tactical. I mean, you can look at it's chalk talk and it's X's and O's, and then you can look on YouTube now and find any list of home skills, gadgets to train your technique, or any type of physical gizmo that you can use to help you be stronger or faster, and they're all important. I feel that we're not. If you look at the sort of the football development pillars or quadrants, the technical, tactical, physical, psychological, or mental, whatever you want to call it, we don't go 25, 25, 25%, 25%. We unconsciously have a bias against those other three that we've mentioned. So, if we're saying that the mental side of the game is a big factor, we've got to do a better job of maybe teaching that or making young players more aware of that earlier. So the coaches, we are to blame really, but it's because it's not as a tangible thing. Like you can see the physical gains, you can see the technical gains. So yeah, as to which you teach first, I'm not sure, but I always feel if you can teach that human, the soccer player will come, or whatever sport is will come after that. Let's teach the human first how to deal with, setbacks, resilience, or grit, or those types of things. How can they self-manage? Like that's a big issue as well.
Do you think you can teach grit?
I think environment creates behaviours. So if you can create the right environment, the behaviours will come from that. to answer your question, I'm not as qualified as someone should be to answer that question. But if you read, have you read Angela Duckworth's Grit? Okay, so within
I've seen it. I haven't read it.
If you do get a chance, it's a really good read. So I feel you can, based on that and some other things, I feel you can enhance people's ability to show grit or resilience, which, and some people argue they're two different things, but I feel that there is an ability. As to how much, I'm not qualified to say, but my gut reaction says yes.
It's funny, like, talking about this. I was listening to a podcast the other day. It was about it was with one of the recruitment analysts for Liverpool, and they were talking about when Klopp first took over after the first couple of years, one of their main criteria they would look at were players that have dealt with setbacks. So they signed Andy Robertson, they signed Gini Wijnaldum, based on the fact that they got relegated and they were able to deal with, well, if Liverpool had some sort of setback or a challenge, they knew those players would be able to deal with that and be able to get through it. And then 2 years later, they won the Premier League. It was really interesting. I was listening to it, I was like, wow. So, yeah, it just goes to show.
Yeah, no, that's definitely interesting. So I guess based on kind of what I'm gathering here, and maybe this is an incorrect assumption, but it sounds like you guys played a lot, and also based on something that Sebastian had said in our interview with him, you guys put a lot of value on the group dynamic and the culture. It sounds like potentially over some things that maybe more people from the outside would be focused on tactics and lineups and technical ability.
4-1-4-1.
4-1-4-1s or whatever. And it sounds like, to me, if I'm understanding correctly, is you guys are putting a ton of emphasis on the group and the humans and the mental side of it, maybe less on the not that there's no emphasis on the other thing, but you know what I mean? It seems like you guys are really emphasizing that. Is that a correct read?
I think we're trying to readdress the balance of what we just talked about, where a lot of other clubs or people or look at the technical, tactical and the physical. We're trying to readdress that with, we know that character and human is very important. So how can we focus on that as much as we focus on the other things? So yeah, you're correct in that. And the recruitment prior to when Liam and I got here has been very good also, because we have a lot of genuinely good people on the playing staff as well as the coaching staff. And I think if you look bigger picture, that's obviously something that's been happening in the organisation with the staff that are, front of office and stadium staff and operations and all of that. So I would agree with Sebastian. Like it's definitely a thing in terms of our recruitment strategy. We have to recruit good humans, because good humans will make good footballers, or whatever sport comes after that. And I think it's funny, actually, Chris Nugent, he gave us all a book called Legacy, which is about the New Zealand All Blacks. I don't know if you've... It's a very good read. It's one of those how sport can teach business or the rest of the world how to lead and all of that. Anyway, so within that is that part of better humans make better All Blacks. It's the same sort of thing. And I'm sure when you work with people that are good people, it helps everything, and then the performance just goes from there. Because I think you can teach other things. I'm not necessarily sure, if you've got the wrong person in, it's very hard to
correct that.
Do you know? Yes.
Yeah. You didn't turn that person into a rock star,
and it can be done, I think, to a certain degree. But you've got to have a lot of knowledge in that area. So we don't possess all of that knowledge, some of it. So let's just start with a better human first, and then we know we can help with their timing of movement or their physical performance, all of those things.
So as former players, I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, that you guys will still do some sort of cardio to keep you sane? Or did you leave it behind?
It's funny you should say that. I mean, obviously, Chris is a avid runner.
Well, my next question is what's he running from? But maybe that's
run from him.
No, I think. I mean, in terms of yes, I think the older I get, I'm into my 40s now. It sort of goes away from sort of keeping fit for a reason in terms of competition to now a little bit more recreational to now like just lifestyle, so active lifestyle. But I haven't done a run for a week now, so
You
I've
feel
walked
it?
the dog
Do you
a
feel
lot.
it?
Yeah, I do. So that tells me that I do need exercise and that in my life. But I've done a lot of dog walking, but this last week I haven't ran. So yes and no.
So where do you take your dog, and what's your dog's name?
Well, I've got Murdoch is my dog, and then my girlfriend Elisa has 2 other dogs, Dakota and Archer. So we sort of walk them. We walk.
It's a lot of dogs.
It's a lot of dogs,
Yeah, a lot of
and
dogs.
2 of them are very big, and one's a littler one. But we trade off. But normally I walk Murdoch up and around where I live on North Ridge. So yeah, so I take him up and around there, and that's a good mental sort of escaping. And assuming it's the same reason that people run, Chris runs and Liam works out. We need that release away from work.
Yeah, some sanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris sent me a message, and he said "Howling Mad Murdoch."
Okay,
Is there a story behind this?
Yeah, so I rescued him from a one of these kill shelters. So he's one of these death row dogs. So he does have 2 blue eyes. He's a Catahoula. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I have heard of them, but I don't. I couldn't pick one out of a lineup.
Yeah, I'd never heard of them before, but it is a breed. Anyway, the first 2 weeks I was thinking, why is this dog being put in the shelter? It can't, he sits, he waits for his food, he does all these things, and then I found out that's when his name changed to Murdoch, because he's got crazy eyes. Obviously, it's off the A-Team.
Yes.
The original A-Team, which I watched quite a lot in the UK. It's a bit before your time, Liam, I think.
He was looking confused.
Yeah, no. So have you seen the film?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, I'm going off the TV series, the 80s TV series. So anyway, but then I found out. So him and Chris Nugent have a little bit of history in terms of, I think they've said a few things to each other. And I think Chris tried to put him in a headlock once at my house, and he ended up being pinned against a fridge. So
Chris is more B.A. Brackus. That's what you're. So is that?
I don't know. I think there's good competition between the 2 of them as to who's madder. But yeah, so no, but he's a good dog, but he's one of those rescue dogs. So you've always just got to be a little bit careful.
He's seen some things, so you need to make sure to
He's
not.
seen some things, yeah. But it does make for a lively sort of existence. But yeah, if you put Murdoch and Chris Nugent in the same room and shut the door, I mean, I don't know who's going to come out alive, but. Hopefully both of them.
Hopefully both of them.
But yeah, no, he's a good dog. And I think like anything with pets, it just adds, for me anyway, it just adds a little bit extra to life. So I'm biased, but I think everyone should have a dog, or at least a pet. I think it brings more to the family, and you get a lot more out of your life. That's what I've found.
You got to hear my 2 coming in.
Yeah. Schnauzers?
One is a Schnauzer mix, and one's a Poodle mix. They're both mutts. But normally when there's 3 of us, or especially there's 2 of us, they're normally in here running around. But 4 of us, they'll be all on our laps. And while they're cute, it makes it a little tough. But yeah, they make life interesting.
Yeah, they do.
In a good way.
Yeah, and I think the thing I like about dogs is, and like most animals, dogs particular, is that they don't judge. They're always pleased to see you, and they're honest. So I find that's just a good thing to have around you.
And it helps when you get home and somebody's happy to see you.
Yeah.
Like you've had a total just shit day, and you come home and your dog doesn't care. They don't care that you've had a bad. They don't know that you've had a bad day. They're just excited to see you.
Yeah.
And maybe they want to play, maybe they want to lick you, but they want you to forget about whatever's bothering you, and they're happy. And if you left for 5 minutes to go to the pharmacy, they're still just as happy to see you when you get back.
Yeah. So how about you? What do? He said you go to the gym?
Yeah, I run a little bit. I've actually been on a few long runs with Nugent since I've been here.
It's a terrible idea.
Yeah, it was.
Are you actually a distance runner, still?
No, I mean, I'll just run whatever I feel like, to be honest. For me, more mentally, when I run or work out after, I feel like just I can achieve more. I can attack the day in terms of doing tasks. I just feel a lot more free and ready to go, if you like. So I like to lift weights now and again, run a little bit. My girlfriend's got a dog, Alfie, an Australian Shepherd, that I've formed a bit of a bond with. So I really enjoy having him around. So yeah, that's what I like to do. I like to hike as well, get out, and I haven't been out around here since we've moved. But
does he herd you around the apartment?
Yeah, we're in North Carolina. Yeah, he's he would show us the way, but he's an amazing dog, very very smart. So Yeah.
What kind of lifting do you like to do?
Just whatever I feel. Just beach weights, is it? More
just upper body all the time, no legs.
Yeah. Bicep curls, chest press.
Front of the mirror.
Yeah. As long as I sweat and I feel good, then I'm good. Doesn't matter what I do. So.
Are you letting Rich put you through any workouts, or are you?
No, he actually gave me a heart rate monitor the other day because we were just talking about running. We were talking about it's good to like get in the red zone and do by doing sprint work and stuff like that. So I don't really do that as much. So I'll probably give that a go and report back to Rich with my.
I feel like reporting back to Rich might be dangerous.
Yeah, I'll try and stay away from Rich as much as possible.
He'll keep you in line.
See what I'm eating and.
A former head coach of ours, as a compliment, said he called Rich a bastard. He said he eats the right thing, he does the right thing, he'll make sure you are focused. This was when he was a player and the captain. He said he's what we need, and it was just a funny way to describe him. But I just know he's very locked in.
Yeah, and I think obviously everyone laughs about that, and with Rich and all of that. But if you want to be like an elite performing athlete, what you put in your body and how you live your life is going to determine, because at some point your natural ability and your physical ability is going to stop depending on how high you go up. So I think with Rich, although we all make jokes and we offer him cream cakes and things like that, the point is if you don't do that, then it's very hard to perform at a high level. So I do appreciate it, but yeah, he is. He's very regimented and he's very authentic and he's very
that's
driven.
Him. That's him, right? Yeah. It's not a face he's putting on.
Mm-hmm. And so I think the more you're around people like that, it just helps you to sort of focus your own sort of existence. And we're not competing anymore, but we know healthy living adds 8 years on your life and allows you to do things longer into your sort of existence. So you need people like Rich around you just to keep you in check
and to show you that if you think you're going hard enough, you might not be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you do. So now I'm not saying I want 2 or 3 or 4 Riches around me. One is enough, but
absolutely
I think we've got to make sure that we know the reason why and listen to him.
Do you listen to anything while working out or while running?
For me, like house music, dance music, has to be that. It's always that when I'm working out and running.
Yeah, I'd go a little bit older, so I'd go 90s, early 2000 house music would be that's my go-to music, but definitely for working out.
Good. I mean, as long as you're not telling me you just want to listen to the sound of your feet or the beating of your heart.
He believes those people are sociopaths.
I do believe those people are sociopaths. Yeah. Now, we need a few of those.
I think... Yeah, it's interesting, that one. So we have another mutual friend, Mark, who's a runner, and he does a lot of running. And there's times he does it on purpose to sort of earn the run with no music to And it was when he said that to me, I was thinking, oh yeah. But I need music.
There's some sense to, I think, once in a while to prove to yourself that you can.
I think so.
But I mean,
there's a focus you can get.
Listen, the guy that sits right there runs with nothing. Yeah. Matthew runs with nothing because he thinks.
Don't you think that takes extra discipline though, as well as maybe being a bit psychopathic?
I think it's mental illness. I think it's mental illness.
But it takes discipline though to do that. Yeah. So I think there's some sort of something in there. Mm-hmm. I need, same as I can't really run on a treadmill. And now and again I'll do it, but I think it takes discipline to do those types of things. So, yeah, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah. And then soccer superstitions as players, as coaches.
I used to, again, I don't know. Did you still have tie-ups for your socks?
No, tape on.
See, so we used to have. To stop your socks coming down, little what we would call tie-ups. Mm-hmm. So it's normally just a bit of bandage that we would cut, and then you would tie that. You put your shin pad in, then you pull your sock up, then you tie it, then you fold your sock back over. So that was like 90s, I suppose, 90s, early 2000s. So I would always keep my lucky tie-ups, which were just pieces of old rag.
So if a game went well, that tie-up is going with you.
I would normally keep them for the whole season, unless there was a particularly bad spell, then I would get some new ones, and so I would say that was about it really for me.
That's a good one though. That's a very good one.
I don't think I really had one. If I don't know, like.
Do you have a special pre-game or pre-match meal that you would always have? No?
I would, like, for me, before a game, I would listen to my own music to start with, and then I'd like to be with everybody else listening to music. That was it. I think when I was in college, I think it was having a Red Bull before a game, like half a can of Red Bull or something that continuously did that. But no real.
No, like if you're missing the Red Bull, you feel like you're going to lose for sure.
No. To be fair, like last couple of years coaching, I would always run the morning of a game. I'm just because
there we go. Everyone's got one.
But now I have like this year. Well, touch wood, we haven't lost yet, and I haven't done that every game.
So now you're not doing it until.
So now
you're not doing that.
I ran, or if I want to run or work out, I'll just do it. If I don't, I don't. But
so everyone's got one, even if they think they don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because even if being perfectly unsuperstitious, I believe, makes you then a little bit superstitious about that.
You're just a little stitious.
Because like I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm not going to be bothered by that. Well, I think there's a little something to. I don't know. I just think everybody's got the thing that makes them feel. The shoes. A lot of times it's a piece of clothing or it's eating something.
Yeah, these were the shoes for a while until that game we talked about earlier, that 3-0 game we talked about.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Then they weren't the shoes anymore.
It does happen. Sometimes you have to jettison some shoes, or whatever the thing is. What is your most controversial food take? I'll give you mine. I like mayonnaise, and if I have a hot dog, I put mayo on mine.
God, speaking of sociopathic,
and I will also put usually mustard and ketchup on it as well. But I will eat a hot dog with just mayo and a bun and be fine with that. In part because it makes other people angry, but. That's one of my very, very controversial food takes. What is something besides beans on toast that you guys might enjoy that you feel others may look down on you about?
There's probably quite a few. Going back to your mayonnaise, do you dip fries in your mayonnaise?
If in Europe, yes, because the mayo's different. I would here, but I don't generally, if that makes sense. If you put mayo out as a dipping sauce, I'm in. But I don't need it. I usually will eat fries with ketchup or nothing.
Okay.
But I'm cool with any dipping sauce. Yeah. And I love mayo. So unlike some people, I love mayo.
No.
Just ketchup then? Or?
No.
So what do you dip your
malt
fries
vinegar.
In? Salt and vinegar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Malt vinegar, yeah. Okay. All right. So if we go with fish and chips,
yeah.
Sure.
Then I would only do salt and vinegar.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't put anything red. I wouldn't dip my mayo.
No, I can't stand ketchup, so yeah.
So
vinegar.
Okay. Sorry, to answer your question, I would say Marmite. Do you know what Marmite is?
I do.
Yes. Oh.
My grandmother's from Australia.
Oh, okay. So, Vegemite.
Lord.
She would go with Vegemite then.
But we had my late grandfather's from England, so we had a bit of the rivalry.
I don't think I think Marmite trumps it. Vegemite's not bad, but Marmite does. So yeah, Marmite on toast is probably my thing.
With butter or no butter?
Yeah, with butter. So I'd go sourdough bread or is the best type I find. But yeah, toasted, still warm, salted butter on, let it melt a bit, then Marmite, eat it. Done.
How much Marmite?
Yeah, not caked, like sporadic, just, little, done. That's it.
I'm assuming you've had Marmite.
Yes.
Have you had Marmite?
Yes and no.
No?
No, absolutely not.
It's so good.
No.
But I grew up like...
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
And there's no, I've never met anyone in the middle. There isn't.
Do you put Marmite in anything that people would find strange? Like, is there any other things besides...
Said,
I've only ever had it on
that's
bread.
Strange enough.
I've only ever had it on bread.
My girlfriend hates it, so she'd definitely be...
She sounds wonderful.
She tolerates a lot. No, Marmite and cheese sandwich. So cheese, that's not controversial. No, I'll have a think whilst Liam has a go, but I'll let me think.
I like Italian dressing, and I put it on a lot of stuff, just like random stuff.
So you like Italian dressing, like Americans stereotypically love ranch dressing.
Yeah, I don't ranch. I don't mind. I'll have it, but yeah, like Italian.
Because people will put ranch on like pizza. They'll put ranch on anything.
To be fair, I went through a stage with that. I would always get ranch with my pizza. I don't do it as much anymore. But yeah, probably like Italian dressing on most things, or I like putting gummy bears and like sweets in ice cream. which is like when I have a sweet tooth. When I really have one, I have one.
Like
So
French fries and ice cream. That's a good thing.
No, none of that. I'm not. I'm not that.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
Huh?
Yeah.
French-
French fries. Yes, fries and a Frosty like at Wendy's.
That's where it comes from. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's weird.
Salt,
it's
sweet,
weird.
So
sweet
what
and
happened
sweet.
one day you were eating and it fell out, and then, or do you? How did it?
I don't know.
So
how,
I think
how did anything happen? How did Marmite
Just
happen?
asking.
I mean,
Why
what
are you putting your chips in your
insane
ice
cave
cream?
person came up with said, "Hey, I've got an idea. I don't know what. I don't even know what it is. What is that?
Here's
stuff?
what I think it came from. I think that because Wendy's has fries,
It's salt and sweet.
somebody just started dipping because it is like a thing. People will ask you like, "Have you dipped your?" Because if you get a Frosty at Wendy's, invariably somebody in the group will ask you, "Dip your fries in it?" And it's either yes or no. It's either like hell no or hell yeah. Because like you either, but it is very strange because it's hot and salty and cold and sweet.
Yeah.
I was going to say the fries at Wendy's are very good.
They are when they're
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
They're underrated fries.
Yeah.
Actually,
Try it. You'll. I mean,
you should. You definitely gotta try it.
I'll try it once.
If you like sweet and salty. If you like sweet.
I mean, I'm going to try it now you said it. so.
Absolutely. So I guess that's my weird thing. I don't think that's weird.
Top tier fries from fast food.
I'm going to say, because I was thinking about it the other day, cookout fries.
Good man.
Cookout fries when they're on, they are high level. Yeah.
What's the burger place on the West Coast?
In and out.
In-N-Out?
Yes. Because I think you. Oh no. Yes, you've got anywhere there's malt vinegar available to put on the fries.
Okay.
Yeah, Five Guys with malt vinegar.
Or Five Guys. It might be
Guys are
Five
good
Guys
fries
actually.
as well,
Sorry.
yeah.
It might be
I was
Five
gonna.
Guys.
Five Guys with malt vinegar. Absolutely.
I don't love vinegar on my fries. I can have it. It's
you're
not like I
insane.
won't eat them, but I don't love.
You
I don't-
eat
I don't love
mayonnaise
it.
on your fries, so I'm not listening to another damn thing you say.
That's fair. Fast food burgers.
See, to be fair, I don't eat a lot of fast food.
But everyone gets a hankering
But
now
yes,
and then.
correct. And I'm not. I do like a burger. I don't know. Maybe it's a bit boring, but a Big Mac is nice now and again.
By the way, I agree. A Big Mac hits when sometimes you have a certain itch, and
Yeah.
a Big Mac is what scratches
I
that
always
itch.
feel rough after it, like a little bit after. But I would say maybe a Big Mac, just based on the fact I don't eat a lot of other burgers.
If you felt good after a Big Mac, there'd be something wrong with you.
yeah, so then maybe I'm okay.
In and out. I went to LA last year. And I had
Yeah.
In and Out. That was lovely. I like Five Guys. I don't have it very often,
Sure.
but
Yeah, Five Guys.
the only
is
thing
good.
with Five Guys, it's really expensive. It's like
It's so much.
Yeah,
it's so expensive
it's gotten
now.
very
Yeah.
a
expensive.
burger. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're good. Definitely.
What's your
Well, I have a burger question.
go?
Okay, so obviously, if you put beef between on a bun, that's a burger. What do you call if you put chicken on a bun?
Chicken burger.
Yeah,
Chicken
okay.
sandwich.
Chicken sandwich.
I knew the burger. This chicken burger. I don't understand chicken burger.
Because I suppose because there's turkey burger as well. So
Do
we'd have
Brits?
chicken burger?
Wait, do you guys
turkey
call it turkey burger and chicken burger?
Yeah.
Huh,
If
I didn't
yeah.
know this.
Oh yeah, that's why I asked. I figured. I knew.
Leading questions.
Yeah. Yes. You don't ask a question you don't know the answer to.
We ask different questions. If you get a burger in a restaurant, what are you getting on it?
Most whatever it comes with, I never used to like gherkins, pickles. Sorry, I used to take them out, but I don't know. It's changed now. I'll have everything on it, and I like it. So yeah, just whatever it comes with. There's no special.
Yeah, standard for me: lettuce, tomato, cheese, and then if there's like a specialty house sauce or whatever, I'll get that. Sometimes I like barbecue sauce as well on the side.
If you get a steak, how are you getting it cooked?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah. This could end the interview as well.
I would say no more than medium, but it can't be rare. Like between medium rare and medium for me.
Yeah, medium rare for me.
Bit pink, not too much blood, but not. It can't be burnt to a crisp, and it can't be raw.
My wife likes to take. You walk a cow through a warm room and you slice a piece off.
Blue that shares it.
I don't. I mean, it's rare.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Yeah, but I think blue is the
30,
term. But
like 30 seconds aside on a grill, maybe.
oh my god.
No, I can't. I'm not quite that, but yeah, I don't like it well done. It's a nice piece of meat, so somewhere in the middle.
Okay, another psycho test passed.
Okay, good.
What about sides? What kind of sides are you getting in at a steakhouse or when you're ordering a steak?
It's boring. Fries.
Steak confit.
I like mashed potato.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some sort of greenery as well. There's got to be some sort of green going on there just to
make you feel
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
I don't mind them.
I'll tell you what, mac and cheese I've got into.
That's not very green.
You've been living in the South
it's not, but I'm thinking.
You've been living in the South for long enough, my man.
Yeah, so
the universal side, mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese is quite nice, but I would say standard just fries and then some sort of broccoli or peas or something.
Are you guys good cooks?
I would say
you're good.
I'm not gonna die of starvation,
yeah.
but I'm sustenance. I can, it's gonna do a job, but it's not, it's not fancy cooking. I would say for me.
Yeah, I can cook, but I wouldn't say it's amazing. I mean, I can make chicken, rice, eggs, all the the standard stuff you need.
I do quite like cooking though. Yeah. I mean, I think we're going back to working out and running and taking dogs for walks and escapism. And I think cooking for me, if I've got time, I quite like that process.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to impress somebody, you're having somebody over for it doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be whatever situation. If you're trying to make your girlfriend happy, what are you cooking her?
She's a vegetarian, and the problem is she's a very good cook. And she's very...
So you're definitely not cooking is how to make her happy?
No, I try to do some things that maybe she wouldn't have... Like some traditional stuff. So there's... At least if she doesn't like it, there's some cultural exchange there. So
you can hide behind that, my man.
But if I've got to impress somebody, I don't know. Maybe less ingredients, less sort of complicated stuff, the better. So it's just, easy to do.
So tikka masala and butter chicken.
Actually, yes, I'll do a curry. Yeah, I'll do a curry.
I was just guessing, but
because I've got some spice gift things for Christmas from my cousin, and they are excellent because it's got everything in it, and you just grind, packet 1, add it to packet 2, saute it. So yeah, I do a curry. But I'd do a vegetarian curry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for me, with my girlfriend Emily, she probably wouldn't let me cook. She's a really good cook. But I'm not bad. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, similar to Adam, I'd make something simple where I can't really mess it up.
Cereal.
I love tacos, like some sort of tacos. Like
there we go.
Tacos with a nice little setup with some chips and guac and salsa and stuff. You can't go wrong with that.
You cannot go wrong with tacos, never.
Play safe.
If you're trying to get beans and toast here, what kind of beans? And where are you finding the beans?
Well, you've got to go Heinz beans.
Publix, right?
So you'd have to go to Publix, but they're quite expensive for a tin. So I think you can get away. For me, I can get away with pork and beans, but it's not the same. So yeah, Heinz beans. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm not too fussed. I like beans on toast, but it's not like I need it, But
I think Chris said he eats it 3 times a week. So
yeah, he does. It has obvious side effects if you're eating it 3 times a week, which
I think it might be the reason he runs.
Yeah, runs. It's propulsion.
Yeah, so the problem is he's faster than everyone else. So
that's why. I mean, now you know why.
What's your go-to comfort dish for yourself? You come home and you want to make something just for you.
Good question. A couple of years ago, I went through a stage just making chili, not like from scratch, with all the ready to go, like the tins of beans, tomatoes. I went through a stage of that. That was good with a little bit of garlic bread.
How much time do we have?
As much as you want.
Roast dinner then.
Okay.
So I'd go roast potatoes, some sort of meat, veg, cauliflower cheese, which is similar to mac and cheese. You just put cauliflower in. Roast potatoes, Yorkshire pudding, gravy. Yeah, that would be me. Mm-hmm. But I need a bit of time for that.
Mm-hmm. You got a weekend off.
If it's no time, I'm going fish finger sandwich.
There you go.
So with tomato sauce, ketchup.
Now I know we already asked if you have any superstitious pregame meals, but do you have a preferred pregame meal? especially now while you're coaching?
No, not. I think it was going back to what we were saying before about everyone has a little superstition thing. I think playing it was always jacket potato, baked beans and cheese, or tuna in the back jacket potato. Now there's not really, not for me anyway. Not a superstition.
Yeah, no, me either. I think when we have a game, obviously we have a bit more time in the day. So if we play in the night, you can kind of mess around and make something, or you have time to. So yeah, I like breakfast food. So like a brunch or something, to like beans, eggs, bacon, sausage on toast or something. That would be, like a late breakfast if you like a brunch. Yeah.
What about a post game? We'll say celebratory. We'll say after a win. What's the food that if you can have your pick?
I like pizza. I love a good pizza.
Yeah,
quick and simple. And
yes,
pizza. Yeah.
What have you had here in Chattanooga? What's the best pizza you've had so far here?
We've been to Pizza Bros a couple of times.
It's decent. Just for like a slice of pepperoni, like no frills. I've enjoyed.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You been to Southside Pizza yet?
No.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Where?
So they're on East Main, probably 5 minutes from the stadium, maybe 4 minutes from the stadium. It's just so if you come down Main Street, you cross by the Choo Choo, and it's 2 minutes down the road.
Okay, all right.
Check it
And
out.
they're big CFC fans as
Are
well.
they? Okay.
Yeah. And Pizza Bros is also good.
Yes.
And they've got like a slice and a drink for like $4.
Yeah, they've got slices there as well, and they've got full pies, whatever you want. Yeah. But
nice.
They're pretty great. And then I've heard good things about Fiamma on the North Shore as well.
I've never been there.
We have had Fiamma. Yeah.
Have
we
you?
went there.
What'd you think? I haven't had it yet.
It was
Price
good.
wise, it's at the higher end for pizza.
Sure.
But it was very nice. It would fire all of that thing, So yeah,
I think
it
that was
good.
our first week. We actually did a run club.
Yeah, we
me,
did.
Adam, and
there's a
Nugent.
run club out there. It's like 3 miles down and around, and then you can all sit and chat and pizza and beers and all of that. So yeah. But that is good.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah,
it's good.
Hard too.
Beer or seltzer?
Beer.
Yeah.
Cider?
Yeah. With ice.
How about cider versus beer? Which one you going?
Oh, depends.
Beer for me.
Time of year as well. Like I think on a hot day, you can't go wrong with a nice cold cider. But if I had to pick one over the other consistently, I'd go beer.
Mm-hmm.
At the hotel buffet, which coach is getting the wildest breakfast? Who's getting made fun of for making weird breakfast decisions?
I want to say Chris Baracus, the goalkeeping coach, but he actually
saving his calories.
We actually have there's no crazy eaters on our staff that I've noticed anyway. He has potential.
I would challenge you on that. We've had the Marmot conversation.
Tell us then, because
you have them. We have already had the Marmot conversation, so I think there's at least one
Sorry,
crazy
you're talking.
eater.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So then maybe it's me then.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. At the buffet, I'm not sure.
I'll be interested later on in the season. Sometimes we'll have players on and ask, and there's usually one player who everyone's like, that guy gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes for me.
What type? American pancakes or European pancakes?
What's the difference?
Thickness. Like you're talking about like a Belgian. What because a
like
European pancake's thinner.
Sure.
Yeah.
American pancakes are like puffier.
Yes. So we'll say American, though you can caveat it however you'd like.
Not like a crepe.
I'll go pancakes. What's the? What would you go?
I was going to say, what's the restaurant?
Aretha Frankenstein's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, those?
The
Yeah.
pancakes are incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're listening to this or watching this and you've not been to Aretha Frankenstein's,
Go.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
It
Get
is
there early.
it's a cultural experience. It may take a minute, and get the pancakes. You can get other things too, but somebody has to get pancakes, and everybody has to get the pancakes.
Breakfast burrito and then pancakes as well. The breakfast burrito.
I haven't had the breakfast burrito there.
And pancakes?
Yeah, well, me and my girlfriend, we both got a dish and then shared the pancakes.
Yeah, that's a good.
It was
Smart. See, and the pancakes, they're huge.
Yes.
So
it's like a
you can
sheet
get
cake
one for the
almost.
table, and you can all split if you don't
Yeah.
like pancakes that much, but you have to try them.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
amazing.
they're good.
Favorite type of fries? We talked about fast food fries, but so curly fries, waffle fries, big old wedge fries. Like, what are we?
I would go back again. Obviously, it's what we would have back home in a chip shop. Those types of fries, which you don't really get over here.
I think they call them like home fries.
Yeah, home fries would be the closest. Unless I went to a place in Brooklyn called Assault and Battery, which is a chip shop.
That's a funny name.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny. That's the closest I've got because obviously it was, sort of that authentic in that sense. But I would say waffle fries are quite nice.
Yeah.
Because you can...
Yeah, they get sauce.
Yeah. So I would say, waffle fries for me then.
Now that you said curly fries, when I was in college, we used to have an Arby's close by, and the curly fries and Arby's were incredible. I've not had them for years, but
yeah, but
I was just thinking back, really good.
Oh, we went through some of those. Do you drink coffee, or are you still tea? I assume Brits don't drink anything but tea.
About tea.
I'm tea.
I'm coffee. I'll have a tea now and again, but I'm not.
Now, was that something that changed when you came to the States, or were you always a coffee?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been a tea. Not that I don't like it, I've just never really drank it. But yeah, I love a coffee.
How do you take your coffee?
Depends. Typically, I have an espresso machine at mine, so usually I'll just have 2 espresso shots, black, good. Or some days I'll have like a latte type or whatever. But I like a black coffee.
Nice, very grown up. How do you take your tea?
I just have it milk, no sugar. Hot, obviously, but yeah.
What's happening?
How many cups of tea do you drink a day?
So actually, one of the lads was asking me that today, and it depends. If I'm at home and there's nothing going on, it could be double figures. But if I'm a general day, I'd say maybe 5, 6.
Do you make it at home usually?
Yeah.
If you don't make it at home, you can't for whatever reason. You're on the road. Where's the spot? Where are you getting tea?
Yeah, good. And that's been a continuous thing over the last 20 years I've been in America, or 23 years now, whatever it is. I would say, and this is my criteria, obviously, quality of tea, how hot the water is, and the price. I'm Dunkin' Donuts. Or if you're up north, Tim Hortons. So those are the 2 that for me are the best. Yep.
So only black tea? Do you like?
Yeah.
Like green?
Just English breakfast. Don't come.
And you said milk, no sugar?
Some green tea.
Don't green tea.
It's happened a few times. I didn't appreciate it. So no green tea.
No, and you said no sugar with
no
milk?
sugar in tea. If I have a coffee, I need sugar in the coffee because I find it a bit bitter. But tea just.
It's got to be milk, or can it be cream?
No, it's cream.
I don't know what people put in tea.
Don't put cream in people's tea. So
I didn't know people put milk in tea until about 2 years ago. So the things I learned.
Yeah, no, just milk. 2%, is good. Yeah.
A little more serious question, then we'll get back to some of these more fun ones. I understand you have implemented a feedback system that's been really big. And I'm curious what you would be willing to share about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no secrets. Like we talked. We have a good mutual friend called Kevin Mincher, who is a performance. And when we say performance, we're talking holistic performance, not just physical. So he had a mentor at Syracuse University, Jen Griffin, and she was a mental skills coach. So through her, we got connected with Kevin, and so over the past 6 years, he introduced some techniques to fusion when we were both working in North Carolina, and so he came in and it's basically a feedback sandwich, and so the sort of idea around it is there's some good things that you did, then it's the even better ifs, and then you finish with the good things. So it's like a burger, the bread is the good stuff, and then the meat is the constructive criticism or the.
And the idea being here is that people are much more accepting if it's
I think
placed that way.
The biggest thing for me, I don't know about you, Liam, was when it was implemented. It just because feedbacks or criticism or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter how secure you are in yourself. It's hard to take at times.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so, I can only speak for myself. If you want to fight it a little bit or block it, in terms of receiving it, because it's potential, your ego and all of those things. So what I found, and we were working with young players, but for myself, it took away all of that, because this is what you do really well, and then here's some things you could do even better. So we're assuming that you're doing things well as well, and then this will make you even better than what you are. So I think for me, and then the key other part, which I don't think we mentioned, is it's followed up with questions. So obviously the more questions, the more curious you are, there's potential to sort of accelerate your learning. So Kevin, who works predominantly in the school system in the UK, had this sort of system that, you know, we adopted and learnt about. And it's, I mean, I would say for me, it's probably one of the best things I've ever, that's helped my coaching. Obviously you've got to be able to put the cones down and you run from here to here and pass the ball there and, you know, do this and check your shoulder and all of that. I would say I've got more out of that in terms of seeing a player go from here to here than I have from any type of sort of coaching, traditional coaching type stuff. So the feedback system that Kevin implemented and Chris was a part of when he was at Fusion is something we feel is very important. And I think the other thing is it's evidence-based. So Sebastian has a good background in all of those in terms of his education. So I think he would support and does support that as well. Because it's not just opinion, there's fact behind it. So, but it's cool. I mean, I think I've seen massive in the children that we coach, and obviously it works with adults as well. You just see this surge of sort of self-reflection as well, and how could I have done that a bit better? And then the questions asked, and then it, you know, it's been cool. So yeah, that's sort of what it was. It's nothing magical or anything. It's just basics.
Thank you for sharing that. If a movie was made about your life, completely changing direction, a movie was made about your life, who would you want to play you?
Jeez, that's a good question.
And we had a very large, very bland white center back American guy say The Rock. So you can say whoever you want.
Oh, so there's the physical representation.
I think that was the original intent of the question, but he proved that you don't have to go with.
Yeah, okay.
The reason I'm going to say this person is because when people ask me my name and I say Liam, they always say, "Who's the actor?" And I always say Liam Neeson. They say, "Oh yeah, him." So I'm just going to say him, just based on people asking me about him.
Keep going. I'll fix the camera real quick.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, firstly, it's not going to be a very high-grossing film. That would be the first thing. So whatever this film is, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. So it physically doesn't have to look like... Because I'm thinking maybe Tom Cruise.
Oh, Tom Cruise.
Same. No, he's actually a bit shorter than me because I've seen him in the Waxworks Museum, so he's shorter. Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody told me yesterday I look like, is it Chris McAvoy, was it?
Oh, yeah, who was that? No, not Chris McAvoy. James McAvoy.
James McAvoy, sorry, yeah. Said I look like him, I was like, okay. Yeah.
It's a nice compliment.
Yeah, I said take it.
I'll take that.
What is your favorite way to spend an off day nowadays? I mean, you haven't had maybe a ton of off days.
No, what's an off day?
But if Chris gives you an off day, and maybe you haven't figured it out yet, but I'm curious, what would the ideal off day look like if you're trying to just relax and recharge?
If it's on the weekend, get up, watch the Premier League. I mean, we can actually sit down and relax and enjoy the game if you like, especially if it's your team and they're winning. For me, just little things, just taking your time in the morning, going on a little walk, maybe working out. Yeah, I mean, really basic. Really.
Yeah, I think similar. I think spending time with the people, like your loved ones, and the people that you know. For us, it's sort of girlfriends, but I'm like family and that sort of thing. So I think just boring stuff, like just being in your house, doing some chores, just doing a bit of normal life. Football plays a part, particularly like Liam said at the weekend. You need to keep an eye on the Premier League and that. So, but yeah, spending time with people that you love. That's what I'd say.
Either one of you have a go-to karaoke song?
No, I'm bad at karaoke.
Oh, no.
Anyone who's good is not fun to go karaoke with.
No, that's true. I don't know. Maybe a bit of Robbie Williams. Don't mind a bit of Robbie Williams. So maybe that's my... But I don't have a go-to one.
No, me neither. I'd be good with singing with somebody else, like in a duo or whatever. Yeah.
Smart. It's a good move. What song always gets you on the dance floor? If you're getting dragged to the dance floor or you're trying to drag somebody to the dance floor, what's that song?
It'd have to be some sort of house or dance music. I don't know. Yeah, good question. I might have to come back to that one.
Yeah, same. Something like I like reggaeton music, so I've been like some parties. It's just like a reggaeton. Like I went to a wedding in Spain last year, a couple of years ago. There was a lot of reggaeton playing. I just like something with a beat, like some sort of like catchy beat that would similar to Adam, say like a house song or something. But yeah, no real.
So when we have one person on, we ask this question to them: what is your hidden talent? However, it's more fun, since we have the two of you on, to get you to give the hidden talent for the other person.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Because a lot of times you'll say something that they wouldn't say.
Yeah, good. But I suppose that predisposes how much you know about the other person.
Yes, and since we don't know anything, you can go with whatever.
Hidden talent.
I'm trying to think of one for myself as well, and I can't think of anything.
Well, he kind of touched on it before. Adam's a good cook. I remember
yeah, all right, I'll take that.
He cooked, well, I helped him a tiny bit. A few years ago, we cooked he cooked a roast dinner.
Oh, no, yeah, we did it together, and that was a good, So,
see, this is why the question's good when you ask the other person, because
he was very
you don't
good.
know what's hidden about yourself usually.
Yeah, that's
sometimes you do, but usually.
That's what I think for me. Well,
yeah.
What would we not expect that Liam's very good at?
But he's a very good golfer. I don't know if you would expect it
Really?
or not expect it, but a very good golfer.
Have you played with any of the guys on the team?
I haven't played not here. I've not played golf for a little while now, so I need to get back into it.
I know Tate's a very good golfer.
Yes.
Yeah, we've heard.
I think a few of the boys go out and play
Alex,
regularly. Yeah.
Alex and Tate. I don't know who else plays, but I know them from when they were here at the same time prior to
I
now.
think Callum and Logan play as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'd say golf, but putt for me. That's my.
Me too. I'm a
I don't mind
lousy
that.
golfer. A lousy golfer.
Yeah, I play a lot of free golf. Anything over par, I consider free. So.
Yeah.
I always enjoy the joke. I always play a lot of damn it.
Yeah.
What in Chattanooga have you not done yet? Maybe you haven't had time or to do something with, but what's the thing that you're going, when I get the chance, I'm going to go do X?
Yeah. And this weekend, hopefully, we're going to the aquarium.
Okay.
Okay.
I've been wanting to go since.
Yeah, I've been. I went a couple of weekends ago.
So yeah, aquarium for me.
I just want to go and do like the choo-choo and stuff. I've not kind of been around there and done that. So
There's a train car bar.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah, I've had a beer on there.
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah.
We need to get him to Ruby Falls.
Ruby Falls. We go to Ruby Falls after it rains. Otherwise, don't go. It's a little
So
bit
you
lame.
turn on the tap.
Turn the tap. I don't know if it's really a tap. That's the Ruby Falls is this waterfall inside the mountain.
Inside a cave.
And so some people will tell you that there's like somebody turns on the water. I'm not sure that's true. I think
there's a pump.
I think after you go and it's rained a lot, it's great. And when it hasn't rained very much, there's just not that much water because it's, whatever.
Yeah, I think there's a pump.
But it's it'd be interesting. I think Ruby Falls is fun. If he's right, it's when the pump's on, and if he's wrong, it's just after it's rained. Favorite non-soccer sport?
Good question.
I mean, for me, I quite like golf. I'll watch it now and again, not too much.
Have you seen the indoor
Participation
stuff?
or
Either
Sorry?
one.
Have you seen the indoor stuff? The indoor golf?
Oh, like the simulators and stuff like that?
Well, no, where they go in, they actually play. There's two teams and they
It just
play
started,
each other.
right?
Yeah, it just started.
I haven't-
I've
It
not
is
seen it yet,
horrendous.
though.
I saw a highlight.
What do they
thing.
play? What they play inside a stadium or
Yeah, at SoFi over in LA. So so you tee off and it looks like a simulator.
Oh, actually.
And then
I've
at
se-
some
yeah, I know
point,
what you mean
then
now.
they you make it to the green and then they plot the ball where it would be.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah, and then you finish the hole on a fake green that they have like it
Yeah.
moves around. Yeah, I tried to watch it for like 5 minutes and I just couldn't do it. So.
Yeah.
to watch. I quite like tennis, particularly Wimbledon more specifically. I'll watch other, but around Wimbledon, I'll sit and watch Wimbledon. To participate in, I'm not sure if it's a sport, but I like fishing. So freshwater fishing.
There's a lot of that around here.
Yeah, so I do, and it's mainly the tranquility and just the sort of away from everybody.
Do you like fish?
I do like fish.
What's your favorite fish?
I like trout and salmon, obviously, and cod. I had a fish in Australia called a barramundi, which is a white flaky fish.
I've seen it, but
oh, it's beautiful. So that mackerel as well. So
I can't do mackerel.
No,
it's too fishy for me.
Yeah,
I don't like fish very much.
Like
so
fish,
I've got to have
like
needs to be super fresh or just super bland for me to be.
Like
I'm not well. Say what?
Orange is it orange? Whatever. You like a white fish?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not very cultured when it comes to fish.
No. But yeah, so I'd say watch tennis, actually participate. If fishing is a sport, then fishing.
I think it can definitely be a sport. We'll skip over some of these, and we'll go to we'll talk about last night. So last night, we're recording. Was it last night? It was last night, right? Yeah, it was last night.
Yes,
we're recording the day
night.
after U.S. Open Cup win against Corpus Christi. How did you guys live that game from the bench?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because you're on this level, so you're at pitch level, or so you hear things that potentially you don't, and you feel things that you don't maybe feel from up there, but you don't see as much of the field as when you're watching from at home. Or it was exciting. I mean, it was.
We made sure we ended it in a very exciting fashion for sure.
Yeah. So, and obviously we ended up on the positive side of it. So for us, there's only good feelings associated with it now, but at the time it was. I mean, it was a good excitement. It was just it was a bit. It was nervous. You were. It was a good nerves though. Do you know what I mean? You didn't feel anything was really out of your control.
Yeah.
But it was. It was. They were tough. To give credit to them, and I mean, Liam coached USL2 these last few years, and so sort of we have an understanding of what it is to be like on the other side of that. And so all credit to them and their coaching staff and the lads that played, because I'm pretty sure most of them hadn't been training regularly.
You could see that, and I think since we were an amateur team for so long,
so you appreciate that.
Yeah, I told some people leading up to the game, like around minute 70.
Yeah, wait to 70, 75 minutes.
You're gonna see because they're not training every day, the fitness is going to be a big difference. And so, I mean, we spent a lot of time in the NPSL being a very, very good team, but we would in the Open Cup play a professional team, and we'd only been in camp for a week or two or whatever, or sometimes less, and suddenly at minute 70, 75, we'd be winning 1-0 or whatever and having a good game. And then the team would come roaring back and we'd inevitably lose. Not everyone. We won a couple of them, but you'd see the fitness difference. And then I remember listening to Bobby Warshaw was a player in MLS, and he actually played against us when he was in USL. And I listened to a podcast of him talking about playing in the Open Cup. And he said, you just hang on and survive as the professional team because they're so up for it until minute 70 or 80. And it really hit me like, last night in particular, I thought like around minute 65 or so, you started to see the fatigue, and then we really started having our way, and it took a while to get there, but then we...
I felt even at that, though, they got tired, but they still had lots of numbers behind the ball, which it's really hard to play against.
And I think the soccer IQ was pretty high, and I don't just mean in how they played, which they played well, but I mean in the wasting of time, in the in the milking every opportunity to... clear it or again, waste time or stop a play, take advantage of what the referee was or wasn't calling. Like they played that very smartly throughout the whole game, I felt like.
Yeah, gamesmanship was...
The dark arts.
Yeah, and again, which you can appreciate as a soccer fan in terms of...
When your team's doing it, yes.
Exactly.
Well, they got a little taste of their own medicine after we got the goal, but...
Yeah, and like I said, I think also credit has to go to sort of the lads that came on off the bench, the finishers.
For us.
Yeah.
They changed the game. Every sub changed the game.
And one of the things is that they have, anyone who's coming off of the bench, they have to make a positive impact on the game. And not just yesterday or last night, but in games that we've played so far this season, those finishers or those people that finish the game from the bench have done that, and I think that shows again, we're going back to the humans and the type of people we have. That sort of speaks volumes for them, and is good for our team, particularly in games like that where we needed to change the momentum, and there's ways you can do it, and that was one way to change personnel and bring people on. So I think everybody has to take credit for last night, the lads that started the game and kept us in it and kept going and were professional in that sense, and then the other players that came on finished the game off. So they made it tough, and it was exciting and nervous and all of the things that you want, and we came out on the right side of it. So
mentality-wise, how do you prep a team and make sure they don't come out? I mean, last year we lost in the first round and the same fixture, and I would argue it's because we came out flat. Obviously, you guys weren't here, so I'm not asking you to make a judgment based on last year. But I felt like it was a mentality issue. Like, how do you prepare and make sure a team doesn't come out,
Yeah, well, that was our message before the game, like Adam said. Coaching the USL2 the past few years, we've been in that other dressing room where it's, hey, you've got nothing to lose, go and prove a point. So we flipped it to our guys, like, these haven't got anything to lose, we must be ready to match them and, ultimately put them in their place, if you like. And I felt from the first minute the professionalism and the standard and the mentality from the guys was really good. We were on the front foot, we were aggressive, we didn't take them lightly, and so that was the message before, because you see last night with the results, the amount of pro teams that went out to a NPSL team, UPSL. Just goes to show. So
magic of the cup.
That's it.
Yeah. But this is similar to what in the UK, well, in England, it's the FA Cup. And we've all been a part of those lower league sort of things, whether it be as a spectator or as someone on staff or player or whatever. So you it's very similar, and it should be easier for the higher up teams, but on any given day, anything can happen.
Yeah, so, thank goodness no replays.
Yes. Yeah. So it was good, and I think it just goes back to sort of having the right people in the dressing room to start with, helps you to prepare for those types of situations. So a lot of credit to the lads. They were good.
So tough 120-minute game. We get it done, and now we're going to match up with Eastridge. It's going to be a big one. It's not a team we think about a lot on this podcast or talk about a lot on this podcast, but we'll spend the next 2 weeks definitely thinking about it, and there'll be a podcast coming out, I'm sure, about it. But Jim, you had some questions in the pre-show. I'll let you kind of go with what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting here hearing, and because there's going to be an added, whether the players are putting it on themselves, whether they feel it from the FO, whether they feel it from us, whenever there's a derby or whatever you want to call it.
Don't they have to be in the same town? They play in East. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever there's a rivalry game, as the Americans call it, I think there's an added pressure that the players are going to place on themselves. So how do you... And this has not happened before. Yeah, I think you have to add that into it. The two teams have not played each other. I don't know how much the players are aware of history, and I would imagine some of them who've been here a couple of years are. How do you prepare a team? I mean, it's a different challenge than the USL2 team. First of all, it's the equivalent, the same level, and then there's an added component of, they're guys that they probably are going to know, and they see out in the community.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you say, we have connections. I mean, Rich obviously, when he was playing, knows both sides of the city in terms of that. So, and as you say, they're aware of players. They may have friends or former teammates, or So, I don't think I think everybody is aware of what we have. From my point of view, and maybe I'll let Liam speak as well, but I think it's from an outsider's point of view, it's a wonderful opportunity to really do something special for the city, and to create a sort of spectacle that obviously we want to come out on top. However, we have a bigger, and it goes back to sort of the mission of the club, like we have a community here that we can really do good things with soccer. And this is a great opportunity to get two teams that play in the same city, that have two sets of fans that obviously are supporting their own team, but they're also supporting the city and the sport. So I think it's potential to be a really cool thing. But in terms of preparing for the game, we want to win. I mean, we've got to win and we want to win. And I think the lads would be as aware of that as anyone. So
it's like all derby games, right? Rivalry games. Everybody's going to raise the game because they really want to win it. I think for us, we have to make sure the guys go in with a real emotional control and are not, overly up for it, if you like, and going into crazy tackles early on. So I think we have to make sure they're control when they go in. Yes, we want to be aggressive. Yes, we want to win the game, but also mentally, and we've got to be really focused and calm and stick to the roles individually and collectively. And like Adam said, it's really, really exciting for everybody and for the city. And I think if we can make it a real spectacle for everybody, in the stands, on the field, before the game, after the game, like a real big, cool event, and hopefully with us coming out winning will be even better. So, yeah.
Have you guys played in some meaningful rivalry games growing up?
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, I'm just obviously if we go back to when I played, then the level I played at was a very low level semi-professional, but you would have the town sort of rivalries. So, and it was always good the night out after the game, particularly if you went out in the town that you'd just played the game against.
Yeah.
So that there's been a few of those, but I think anything that has an extra bit of spice to it when you play people close geographically, or if there is sometimes you get a rivalry that's not geographic, it's more just history, like maybe Liverpool Man United at times was a big rivalry and they're not geographically close.
Sure.
Say like Arsenal City now.
Yes.
Not this year, but the last couple of years has been like really.
Or Arsenal Manchester United.
Yeah, like
back in.
Yeah, so sometimes you get that, for whatever reason.
CFC and the Michigan Stars.
Yes. Yeah. God.
So yeah, but I think this can be something good. I mean, whether it's just a one-off and it never happens again, we don't know. But there is a potential there to help the city and the community and the sport grow within this area with a game like this. So
I think there's going to be a very, very big crowd.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope, we have a wonderful stadium and we have all the sort of the setup to stage a very high level game, but with a lot of people watching, and just bring some sort of entertainment and good vibes, I suppose, for that night. And like we say, with us coming out on top.
See, I don't know how good the vibes are going to be until we win. I think
rivalry vibes.
There will be hard rivalry vibes. I won't be sleep. I didn't sleep great last night. I won't be sleeping great until that game's over.
I was asked. I'm not sure if pre-traumatic stress disorder is a thing, but that's kind of what I feel right now.
Yeah. I told somebody this morning, and it's a bit hyperbolic, but I can't shake the feeling. If you ask me a championship or winning that game, it's a really tough. But you ask me making the playoffs or winning that game, and I'm picking winning that game. And I'm not saying that's the logical thing, and you don't have to pick between the two. But I'm telling you, that's what my feelings say, which is a problem, which is a big, big problem. Well, gentlemen, is there anything? Thank you for being generous with your time and coming. Is there anything you hoped we would ask about that we didn't ask about?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something.
I got one last listener question from old Chris Nugent. Oh. He said that I should ask you about how much you've learned in home renovations the last few.
Yeah, so apparently I was looking at my contract, and at the bottom of the contract it says duties as assigned, as well as some. You were talking obviously about Liam and I's sort of what we do in our roles and all of that, and it's all very collaborative. So I'm assuming that's where this duties is assigned. But yeah, I've
the renovation's been very collaborative as well.
Yeah. So I've done a lot of tiling. I've done a lot of
nice.
removal of things, lots of heavy lifting, demolition.
I've helped out a couple of times, nowhere near as much as Adam.
But to be fair, so the backstory, I did a renovation in North Carolina of a little house that I'd bought, my first house. And Chris Nugent was very good in terms of helping. Demolition, he was very good at in terms of getting the job done. Leaving a lot, that I wanted wasn't what he did, but at least he got the job done. So we went for a full remodel in terms of a part remodel, but he was very good there. So that was part of it. And I quite enjoy, when you do something yourself
with your hands.
Yeah, there's a sense of pride, and it might not be perfect, and it might not be the best thing that could have been done. I think when you look back, though, the satisfaction of that, and you did it yourself, and you learnt some new skills as well. I don't know if that's how he feels, or his girlfriend will feel when she sees our workmanship. But
so have you taken an extra swing on something since he did the full reno at your place?
I've hidden some things in the wall that he doesn't know about. So, but no, I think it's been long days, and he's worked very hard on his little house. But I'll be glad when it's finished. So.
I remember we had him on the podcast when he had just bought the house.
Yeah.
And he was laying out his schedule and all the things he had to do. And he's like, I think I'm just going to spend these few weeks fixing it and getting it ready, and then I'll be good to go. And I was thinking, there's not a chance unless you are just really, really, really much better at this than anybody else.
Yeah, and I think I don't know, Breezy, if you redid this house or...
So I have, and that's how I know.
All right, so then, but it's like everything. You don't know until you do it yourself.
Oh, yeah. And you don't know what you're going to find when you open that wall.
Yeah.
And in home renovations, I think instead of being double the
things.
You'll hit some things. Instead of taking double the time, which would be the rule of thumb, I think it takes 5 times the time that you think it's going to. Mm-hmm. And that's just part of that's part of it. One of the things I've tried with this house is to not finish the final things when we move out, trying to finish the things before we move out. Because there's always things. When you start a home renovation, there's always things still to do. Yeah.
So no, it's been good, but when it's finished and I get all my tools back, hopefully in one piece, it'll be a good day. Hopefully he invites us all round for a housewarming party. Yeah. So
he owes us a barbecue.
Yeah, he definitely does. So.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your stewardship of the club and also for joining us today. We're really excited to have you guys as part of the CFC family. And not everybody. I think one of the things that makes CFC special, one of the many things is the ability to make connections with coaches and players, to not have that wall that's there. To see somebody in the grocery store that somebody may see you on the podcast and say something to you in the grocery store like, I really enjoyed seeing you or whatever else. And I think that's a thing you don't get in sports a lot, right? You don't, especially in MLS or in Major League Baseball or the NBA or the NFL. You can't see your favorite person or the person that guides your team at the grocery store unless you just get extraordinarily lucky. And even then, they're probably really trying to get away from you. Mm-hmm. So thank you for being willing to be a part of a community and being accessible, for spending this time with us. And we can't wait to see you in Findlay on April 2. And then a lot of us will be in Atlanta on March 30.
Great.
I'd like to see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Cheers.
See you, everybody.